Welcome back to another episode of your Mental Health Matters conversation. Wow, we're ending a month. I hope you are well. I hope your family is well. I hope March treated you well. Very excited to have this conversation today, to dive into this topic. And wow, this month went by very quickly, man. And as I said, I hope the month treated you well. This month it was ups and downs. I can definitely attest. And also, I've been going back to my J. Cole vibes and just listening to old J. Cole. That would be my music recommendation right now. It's been really helping in the last couple of weeks and just listening to vibes. I'm gonna wait for Anthony to join. See, I gotta rewind a little bit so it doesn't get censored. I see he's joined. Okay, there we go. Let's see. 1 second, bro. I'm hoping Instagram. There we go.
There we go.
What's good, bro?
What's up? What's the word?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm feeling good.
Before we even start, I'll just ask, how's your Sunday going?
My Sunday is going very well. I will say it would be better because I get my son like every other week. So when I do have my Sunday with my son, that's when my Sunday is like elite.
Yeah. Today has been one of those like kind of chill kind of type of Sundays for me as well. Like just like I've been excited about the conversation. I've been thinking about it, but also I was like, yo, let me just find the time to just relax to start this Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And bro,
That's how you gotta do it.
As we were saying, like right before we got on when we were talking, I haven't spoken to you in a while, and I just want to say what I was saying then now, like thank you, bro, because I'm very excited for us to dive into this topic, bro. And before every conversation, I do an intro, and then we dive into the conversation. So I'm going to segue into the intro real quick, and then we'll move along to the convo. So welcome back to another episode of your Mental Health Matters conversation. As I say, before every conversation, this space is for all of us. This space is for us to be able to come share just things that's going on in our minds, things that we've experienced in our mental, things that we may just want to talk about. This space is always readily available. And as I say in every conversation, my favorite quote is a smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. And I believe that's the job for us is to be wise in this world. I believe that's what God wants to fill us in, the wisdom to live this life accordingly, meaning that we can teach each other as well. So today I am excited for my guest, Anthony. Bro, I know it was Diggs, but like I'm the name there as well, bro. And this is the part, bro. I'm gonna pass you the mic. I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself, and then we're gonna.
Yeah. Nah. That's funny. I'm not gonna lie. In the professional world, I've been having to go by Anthony. I've kind of gotten like the alias of I Diggs now instead of like my last name, which is kind of Diggs because like Diggs is my name. Like my name is my name.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm Anthony Diggs. You know, the second of his name of House Diggs. You know what I mean? I be playing, Game of Thrones. I'm really nerded out. I don't know if y'all peep. Like I'm blurred. Like I be geeked out.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy to be on the show. Like thanks again for the invitation. Like I'm happy to be here. I feel like the timing couldn't have been any more perfect, any more godly. Like manifestation is a thing for real.
Yeah. And alignment, right? Like when you can recognize it as well. Because even when you were saying it, I should have rebut that and say like I had that thought about like this is just a line,
Yeah.
And just to see where this type of conversation and this topic can go, And one thing I want to say, bro, before we even get started, like I got to give you your flowers, right? Like I told you about, I'm gonna say it again, the process of getting this topic, but like one thing I've always seen from a distance from you, right, is the motivation that you give to this world, the constant urge to be better, to build better, and you wanting to see people be better and helping them in that journey. It's always something I've respected, bro. And I just wanted to give you those flowers to tell you that, like, it's so necessary what you do, and you just continue to do what you do, bro, because I see that you help lives, and that's one of the greatest things we can do in our human
Oh,
experience.
thank you for that. Nah, for real. I told myself, I'm like, yo, I can't cry on my first live. I can't do that. I
Nah,
can't do
bro.
that.
Nah, bro.
But
Nah,
that was powerful. But for real though, because that's really what I feel like I'm here for. I feel like that's my purpose. I feel like with everything that I do, I try to do with love because that's like kind of how I was raised. Like I'm a lover boy. Like I can't help it. Like anybody that's known me or gotten to know me has known like that's or at least seen me. I want he in love. All right, he a lover boy. Oh, like yeah, but that's just how I am. Like I
yeah,
can't help it. And I guess as I've grown up, I've come to accept it. So, and
key.
I feel like that's a thing that we all have to do. Like, one, you have to self-reflect. I feel. Then you have to self-identify, find yourself, and then after that, that's where you gotta take it from there. You find it and you stand on it. Like you
Yeah,
gotta stand on it. Like you gotta
and
really be
cultivate it.
consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, for sure, bro. And it shows in the things that you put out. And I'm glad that that's aligned with what you're trying to do because I see it. We see it,
Yo,
bro. So shout out to you for sure.
appreciate you for real.
And it kind of segues into our topic today, right? Like the topic is mind games, right? And when I first said it, my mind was like, "Oh, you got that similar rhyme to mind games, right?"
Hmm.
And I did. I was like, in my thought, how can I use that within the thought I was having? Because the first thought that came to me was gains,
Hmm.
and for me, I was telling my best friend this just like a couple minutes ago before we got on, right? Like I do my years and quarters. Like I have an overall goal for the year, but I make sure I break it down into small pieces. So my way of measuring that is quarters. And to go into this is a line. Tomorrow's the 31st, so we're basically in the last days of this first quarter of this year.
Oh,
And my mind went to gains. Like I was not thinking of it in just monetary. I was thinking of it in my human experience, not because when I did it, I was listing off all the things I did and all the things I missed, and it was just like okay, you're happy, you're doing this, and then I just stopped and I was like, I'm gonna just focus on the things no one can take away from me. What did I gain?
yo.
And then I started listing those off in my head and I wrote it to you. I was like, some of my major gain is closer peace, patience, better humility, standing on my forgiveness, like actually knowing that that's the best path and not even questioning anything else.
Oh my
Discipline, like my
God.
faith. These are gains that like I nobody can take this away from me. Nobody can even say, hey, I'm gonna add this to you. Now you got it. I gotta be the one that's the one for all of that. So my first question to you, bro, is
Ooh, hold
how do
on.
you work through things and measure your gains?
First off, let me fix myself at the dinner table because you definitely just cooked just now. That's a whole feast. Oh my God.
Thank
That
you.
was good, bruh. Measuring progress. So it's funny. So it's because I've been going to school. I've been like literally gathering up certifications,
Yeah.
skill sets, trades. So one of the things that I learned when I was doing CNA, that's like nursing assistants, there was a psychologist, Abraham Maslow, I think it was.
Abraham Maslow, yeah,
So
the
yeah,
self-actualization, the pyramid of
yes, there.
self-actualization. Yeah,
See, you know your stuff. You
yeah,
feel me? Now, I think the pyramid goes basic needs to higher needs.
yes,
For someone to fulfill their higher needs, they need to be able to fulfill their basic needs. That's where I started,
yeah,
taking care of my basic needs. After I started doing that, sharpening the details, building up, building up, building up. When I did that, that's when I felt like, oh, I'm getting the foundation now. Now it's strong. The village is building
yeah,
right now. Everything is flowing. And like you said, alignment. Not only just alignment, but discernment. I'm aligning with the people and the things and the places of where I need to be, who I need to know, and then I'm discerning the people technically that not necessarily that you have to cut off, because I feel like the whole cutoff situation is a different aspect, but more so protect your energy in a different way, create
My best friend
boundaries
tells me
in a
that
different
all the
way.
time, bro.
Yeah, like you gotta give what you get. And I try to do like quotes, affirmations where I literally dive down deep, and it's like you pour into what pours into you.
Yeah,
When people want to check in on you, they're gonna check in on you, regardless. When people want to call you, they want to whoever you are aligned with, you will see, hear, touch, feel, all of that. And I
yeah.
think Tiana Taylor said that, and she's fire by the way too. Also, one of my inspirations
She
as
is
well.
fire.
But yeah, like that's
She's
how
fire.
alignment works. Like I should be able to feel you. Like you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like God forbid anybody pass away. I feel like when people pass away, if they're aligned with you, their spirit lives on through you.
Yeah.
Anybody that has touched me throughout my life, you can see is aligned with me. Anything is that's what we call personality. What's personal to you, to your life.
Yeah.
Authenticity. Like I love sports. I love being fit. I love my freedom. Like I love being able to do what I want to do. Like I had to learn a lot of lessons before I got to this point, and I
Yeah.
still got more to learn.
Yeah. And one thing I'm hearing, and you can delve in more, but it's like you're activating and knowing your gains through the gratitude of it all, right? Knowing that it took stages to get here. You said something
Facts.
where it was like even, and I feel like people can connect with this in that Maslow self actualization of like moving up in that hierarchy of learning about yourself. Is that it's not you rush through that. Oh, I got the basic needs. What's the? It's actually you have to have
Yeah.
those things like secured, foundational. Then you move to the next thing. And the thing is, when you rush in that pendulum of like you're just causing more stress to yourself. I believe,
Mhm.
and I've learned that in my life. I've
Like,
learned that in my life where it was like you want to worry about things that are going to happen in 10 steps. I need you to
hmm
worry about step one, step two. And after we do step one and step two, let's come back and have this conversation about step three, four, five, six, seven. Like, let's
yes, it's a
make
fact.
steps.
And the answers is all over the place because you think about it, it's like you said, you try to rush.
Hmm.
You have no
Yeah,
patience. So if you want people, we live in a day and age where everybody wants everything right now.
yeah,
Like the Maslow theory, right? Basic needs, higher needs. It's a pyramid. You
yeah.
try to rush, you go up that slope too fast, you gonna slide right back down. What my man Wesley Snipes saying,
Yes.
Blade? Some
And you
mofos is
and you
always trying.
miss
Yo, it be
you
yo.
and in that you miss a lot through doing that as well because it's
Mhm.
not that life will still happen. Life goes on.
That's a
But
fact.
it's about going back to us saying alignment. Are you going on in the way that number one God wants for you, but also that you truly want for your life? And I just wanted to shift the perspective of because I loved when you were saying it of like doing things too fast, right? And when we would even go to basic needs, we're thinking physical, right? We're thinking house, home, car, everything. Like keep that there. But let's just shift the premise to your emotions basic needs. How do you address that? Because a lot of times people don't look at it in that same way where it's like, yeah, you take care of your physical basic needs, but are you
Mhm.
taking care of the emotion? Are you actually learning what this feeling is? Are you actually taking the time to sit in it and learn the language that will help you? Because a lot of times to be able to see the gains that move you, you're going to have real conversations with yourself and then see you move within those things. So it's like, how do we, I guess this question just came to me and I'll pose it to you. Like, how do we make sure we're not moving too fast in our emotions basic needs, which is us seeing it, understanding it, observing it, and then seeing how we're going to respond, not just react.
Yeah. See, that's a thing. All right. So you had said it. You said a lot of good words too, but the one that I noticed at first was well, not noticed. I say I take hold to in my personal life was observation. So some people know, not a lot of people know, but I grew up like I did a lot of things. But one of the first things I started was martial artists, like
Mm,
martial arts. The first thing we learn, observation is key. What
Yeah.
you observe is how you acquire the
You're,
knowledge, maintain the knowledge. Observation is everything. So what I do is I self-reflect, I think about what I'm going through, and I think about what's around me, my resources and my support system. I look at my resources, I look at my support system, I look at what I want to do. That's my triangle. Then I align it. All right, this is what I want to do. This is my resources. This is going to help me be able to do it. This is my support system. This is who I can talk to be able to do it. And then like I have friends, but
yeah.
I don't want to say there's calibers of friends, but there's friends that I would say I have more for emotional support. When I say emotional support, I mean like these are my real friends. Like we have
Yeah.
over a decade in the game.
Yeah.
We all know each other,
You guys
went to
create
school with
space
each other.
for each other.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
we have a whole group chat where we literally FaceTime damn near every week. We see each other's faces,
That's amazing.
talk, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
That's
like
amazing.
that's how we kind of get to that. And then on top of that, we're older now, so we're in situations that one, our parents could try to coach us on, but they're not living in today's era.
Yeah.
And then it's like nobody else can. There's no rule book. There's no guideline on how to be a parent. There's no guideline on how to be adult. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah.
know the rules of the game and just play.
Yeah, but and I love that observation stuck out to you because that's one of the most important rules of this life. You have to be able to observe what's happening, but also be able to observe what's happening to you. And observation comes with learning patterns, like being able to know the patterns of yourself, but also the patterns of how you're influencing the world. I once had somebody tell me that like the one thing they noticed about me is like I will speak in patterns, right? And when they said that, I didn't like it. I was like, wait, what? No, I speak in mad ways. But then I went to look at it around that time when they said it, and I was like, what my mind is doing is I observe so much that
Mm,
I'm just repeating now the patterns that I'm seeing within my observations.
yo, it's like an algorithm.
Yeah, and then when you learn that, then I wasn't mad at it no more because I was like, oh, okay, I'm very present. Number one, that's one thing that popped. I was like, yo, I'm very present, and yeah, I'm just seeing. I'll be telling people like, bro, this and this, it might turn into that. And for me, it was learning that in my life, right? And then all I
Mm,
was trying to do is either share, but also be a good friend. You know, being like, because there are moments where you do have to say to your friends and make sure they believe that this too will pass. It will pass.
yo, facts.
And it's
Like,
like you have to learn how to cut through sometimes when it's hard, for your friend. But you want to make sure that they know that this exists for them. You know that this will be temporary. There will be something new. There will be something better. And I always feel like one of the other things in just observing, but it's also like when you know your patterns, bro, it's hard for people to now. This is one thing my mother always said: don't let them know more than you know about yourself,
hmm
because they can then use it against you.
revealing all
So
your cards.
yeah, so it's a very big thing to be real with yourself, and be real when you're in the world, so you don't have to have all of those things happening. But the most important thing is like once you learn those patterns, you have to learn some patterns aren't good. So how do you move?
Mhm.
How are you going to move along in that? So it's
African
a whole
moms are
thing.
the
But I love
best.
that you said observation. My mom was like, "Yo, observation has
Observation is
helped
key.
it's a major gain, actually. I'm gonna
Hmm
add that to my list. It's a
Major,
major
yeah.
gain to
And it's
always be
funny.
on top of your observation game.
And like for me, the way my brain works, I see and hear everything in films and music. And anybody that will
Mm.
follow me will like understand. Like I kind of dive down deep into the whole film and like discography. Like so, when you said that whole conversation, and we don't even got to dive down deep into it. If you know about the show Westworld, that was that whole conversation right there. That was Westworld.
Was it what? All right, I think I've heard the name, but I don't
Yes,
want to. Was it like with machines, like slot machine?
yes.
Okay, all right,
They
all right.
were. It was like artificial intelligence.
Artificial
It
intelligence.
was think about a Jurassic Park, but human beings. We talking
I think
cities,
I like dived into like two
businesses.
episodes,
Yeah.
bro, and then I never watched it again.
But the same conversation we just
Yeah,
had is exact like people speaking in patterns, people working the same job, scenarios happen. They do the same thing. You
yeah,
understand?
and then you realize that and to be like, oh,
Hmm.
like
The
it's not
system
doing life that way.
snaps. It's like you get
Yeah,
out of the matrix. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
you get out of that matrix to be like, no, I'm gonna do life this way. I'm gonna trust God this way. I'm gonna
hmm
believe God in this way instead of just what the overwhelming thing might be. Bro, one thing I wanted to also shift into, right, is tangible process, um, progress, tangible progress. And I want to ask this question because and when you're learning the games, you might have repeated lessons, right? So it's like I want people to know that sometimes in life, yeah, we don't want to repeat anything. We do not. So I'm not saying be out here just being happy to say no. We want to move forward,
yeah,
but life is life.
facts.
And sometimes you might
I
find
like
yourself
it.
back in an emotion you think you've moved on from. You might find yourself back somewhere that you think that you've healed past from, right? And it might be creating a repeated lesson for you. And I'm keyword lesson, not loss. Lesson.
Yeah,
But it is also our responsibility as managers of our lives to learn the lesson and now see how we can even be better than when we thought we knew it. You know, so how do you make sure in your mind that like if you're in a season where you're in a repeated lesson that you number one don't falter in the sadness of being there, but also make like do your very best to move forward better.
I mean, yo, I failed a lot, bro. And before, I used to be upset and embarrassed to say that, but now I take pride in saying I failed a lot because that means I really tried a lot. I was brave.
Ooh,
You feel me? Like I say all that to
that was a
say,
bar, bro. That was amazing. That was
yo,
amazing to
nah,
hear you
that
say,
came
bro.
from the heart. Like I'm not even. Well, we gonna pan to the camera real quick. Like I got the quote soon as I come in my room.
Mm,
Like
amazing, bro.
the way I look at it, when I look at it, and I feel like you said, we might get in similar situations, and we might get triggered. We might fall into old patterns, old ways. What we got to do is identify and discern what we did during those times in the past that was wrong, or let's not even say wrong. Let's say that didn't work for
That
us.
didn't
That wasn't in
serve
our.
you.
Yes, thank you. That's that didn't
Yeah.
serve you. And then you gotta look at what you would have done, what you would have wanted, how you would have wanted anybody to serve, or how would you have wanted to serve yourself? Because that's the honest question you
Mm.
need to tell yourself. How would you have served yourself? Like, we're gonna get into that because I know you got more questions for me, and I could really, really, really dive down deep into
No,
that.
please, bro. As I said in the
All
beginning, this
right,
is the
we
space.
gonna
Dive
I'm
into
a
it.
where we met at? We met at Cortland, right?
Yeah, we're in Portland.
Bro, I failed out of Cortland, flunked out, and
Mm.
see, I got saved the first
And,
time, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I got saved because I was emotionally disturbed. I went through a lot going when I was in school. Even though everybody might have seen me happy go lucky, I was going through.
mm,
And the only way I could have gotten myself out of that darkness, crazy as it's kept, was me expressing love to people in the best way I know how. So
that isn't
people,
crazy, my good brother.
yo,
God is love.
thank
So
you,
if you're
thank
that is
you.
not crazy. I just want you to know.
Like I used to have people looking at me like, yo, bro don't show up to class, but he always at the club DJing, like he always like that's what was serving me at that point. Like some classes I was showing up to, like I literally failed out only because of attendance and the fact that I didn't show up to my finals because I didn't want to leave my room for whatever I wanted to do. Like my entire life, everything done. I was the first person to go to college and the first person to fail out. You
Mm,
understand? Like
yeah.
I had to restart. I had to do everything. I came home, had a whole situation with work, thought I had a career job, got fired, had to do that all over again. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, yo, what is the problem? Like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? And that's when the whole self reflection and everything comes in. And I'm just like, yo, I need to be more patient. I need to talk to my friends more. I need to be way more willing to ask for help. I cannot feel embarrassed. I cannot be ashamed because at the end of the day, the people that want to help you are going to help you regardless. And sometimes they respect you, and hear me well, they respect you so much that they're not going to offer you the help because they want you to make the decision
Because
to come
they,
ask them for the help.
yeah,
And that's something I had to learn.
yeah.
So
Number
it's,
one, bro. Shout out to you. I can hear the vulnerability, and you remember when we talked earlier about men's mental health. These are the conversations that like a lot of people don't say, right? To say this is what I learned, this is what I went through, and this is what I learned. And just shout outs to you. I just want to, because I know that's things that are in your mind.
yeah,
That's power. You have power now because everything you're even saying in the alignment of you learning more about yourself, that's the gift of life. And a lot of times, there are moments in time in our lives, right, where the narrative may not be what we want, and we may not see it then, but God will work His way in with you, and then you will see it. But being able to share it, that's what this space is also about, bro. Like being able to be that vulnerable. So I want to highlight that what you just expressed because I want to say shout outs to you, bro. And you
no.
did it. You moved forward. You did it
Thank you for real. That's why I said when you sent me the invitation, I was like, yo, God is good all the
all
time
the time,
because
bro.
what?
All the time.
What, bro? I'm like, he gonna hit me up now. I'm like, bro, because before I was like, I'd be tapped in with
Yeah,
everybody, all of
yeah,
y'all.
yeah,
Like I try to make sure I could like, leave a little digital, footprint, like
yeah,
share if I can, you know what I
yeah,
mean? But I be tapped in because at the end of the day, I care about y'all. Y'all was a part of my growth,
yeah,
for real.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
And the thing about sometimes when that shifts, right? Because the one thing I always say is when they're your friends, bro. We've known each other for over 10 years. I think even more.
even
But
more now. That's a
yeah,
decade.
when they're your friends, when the energy will come back, right? But it's understanding, and I want to even highlight this in the topic, right? Mind games, because the game here is also perspective, like being able to see new perspectives.
Yo,
That's a major gain.
goodness.
And
Yo,
then everything you're saying is like we want to understand in anything you're going through right now you can shift this perspective. That's number one. But if that don't come to you all the time and you're still doing what I'm saying, there is power in learning to shift the perspective.
nah, bro.
It may not solve everything, but shift it to something else and see what that brings about. No, go ahead,
That's
bro.
Nah, you cook. You cook. Yo, the plate hot. The plate hot. But I told you, I'm brave. I'm gonna touch the plate. I'm gonna touch the plate. Yo, perspective was that's the word right there. I forgot who I was talking to. I don't know if it was not talking to, but watching videos because I try to watch videos of actors when they have their interviews or when they're speaking with the
Yeah.
reporters. I'm not sure if it was Denzel, Will, it was one of them, and they said something about perspective. And that's really why I do the things that I do and why I carry the way I carry myself because perspective is key. That's something I had to learn. That's something that my dad used to try to instill in me. Till this day, he still try to instill that to me because sometimes perspective is everything. Yes, and I want to say perspective is everything, but at the same time, you do not want to care about other people's opinions. You do not want their opinions to have power over you. However, opinions, as little as we might want to admit it, they have power. Defamation of character is a thing.
Yeah.
And if your character can be put into question, then that means you can be prone to a whole bunch
Yes.
of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
But I also like even in let's talking about that like opinions, right? Because the opinions in the Bible opinions I often think the negative ones it might really draw from comparison and then just make somebody mad so then now they have a negative opinion about it.
mhm,
It's fine. It happens. But I think it's very important to know that that world exists and to be open to being able to hear an opinion and have a filter. Because some
yes.
opinions can teach you something, can give you a little sauce in
Hmm.
the stew you was making already. But some opinions might be unnecessary sometimes, and at times may not serve you. That may be coming from a place that you don't need to internalize that. So
Hey,
having those two filters, because I'm a big proponent, and I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen, and then I'll make my decision. And at times is because when I listen, I'll filter it between the two of understanding that, like, oh, yeah, no, you can't come at me. Going back to what my mother said, I already know you can't come at me at something that I've worked on. No, we're not doing that. That's like, but then there might be something where it's like, I need to look at that. I need to
facts
look at
though.
that. I need to
Wait,
really look at that.
hold on,
Okay.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Beep, 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 beep. I had to back the cleanup truck. You just cleaned that up for me. Thank you, thank you.
Bro, it helps because sometimes when people are like, I'm one of those people that the way I believe in this is the actionable things that if you do, you see results and you have the evidence in it. It's like a perspective shift sometimes is a breath of fresh air. Like you can, like sometimes you can breathe in
Pause.
some good,
Pause.
you're breathing some great air, bro. But like your mind is racing. But like you have a new perspective, you have hope within that perspective. You definitely should have God within that perspective, and then you
Hmm.
then move. Oh, it helps because we live in a world where I'm not a person that doesn't see the world. I live in it. I function in it. Like this world, things come at you, man. But and going back to your mind gains. You have to know what are the things that I'm gaining within this crazy world. And also because the things you gain, also one thing God put into my heart is you want to gain so that you can give. Because it's what you gain is that cup to be overflowing. And when it's overflowing, you can give. And that just popped into like, bro, it's a segue to something else. And one of the other things, and I just want to talk about this real quick, not even in my notes, but my mind is just going right now. Like one thing that I heard lately that's been coming back to me a couple of days, just a random Thursday afternoon, it's in my mind. Like I was listening to the sermon and this guy just said, sometimes you gotta celebrate the wins. Like not like you're just celebrating that you just won. The same
No,
way your
for
mind
real.
can count the things that are wrong, you also gotta train your mind to count the things that are right. We're speaking about gratitude, but this is actionable. This
Hmm.
is when you're feeling this way, what can you do? And he
No,
was
there's been
like,
a
yo,
study for that. There was a
yeah,
study for that. People are way more willing and accepting of negative
yeah,
information or feedback
it
than
gets
they
in
are
you.
of it's hard for them to be like, oh, you're complimenting me, like, oh, because and then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, yeah, of course, I knew I messed that up, like, yeah, yeah. Like,
And you're saying exactly what he said. He was like, and that's why it's important to have that muscle of, okay, I can have that though, boy. I can also do this. I'm healthy. I thank God. I have my family as well. My mother's good. My sisters, my friends. I have food on my plate. Like these little things. I have money in my bank. Like these things that like you can.
yes.
Oh, I have great relationships. I love. There are people who love me, and I like these things. So when you do all of that in your mind, what often happens is like, oh, I have all of that. Okay, so there was this problem I was thinking about. I'm gonna go solve it.
No, that's a fact.
It really helps. And one of the things I also wanted us to talk about, and that I think is very important as well, in like knowing your gains and also learning language within it, is paying attention to the things you're healing in your life. And going to the first question how you're measuring it for yourself, not letting the world measure it. You know yourself. So be real with yourself. The measurements of your healing. So I guess the question I'm trying to get to is like, how do you make sure you're paying attention to the things that in your life you are actively trying to heal? And
Paying attention
what do
was
you use for
perfect.
measurement?
So me for measurements, paying attention of how I'm healing. There was a quote. I had just changed my name, which is funny because you had it up before. It said King Diggs
Yeah.
the second. And I had a quote in my bio. If I could remember it word for word, I'm trying because my memory be kind of. I think it said, um, a king's a kingdom's success or a king's success is not judged by the king's success, but judged by the success of his people.
Yes. The people around.
And exactly. So I feel like that's my grading system. Like I was a personal trainer. I was a DJ. You know what I mean? I graded my success as a DJ as if yo they having fun. They ain't lead a party. They bringing more people.
Yeah,
We
you're
lit.
the energy.
Yeah.
You're bringing.
You
Yeah, I
feel
fuck with
me? As a
that.
personal trainer. Oh, you want to keep coming? You want to sign up for more sessions? Oh, you want to bring a friend? You referring me? Oh, you want to know if I teach more stuff? You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like that's what I started to try to identify, and that's when I start to feel good about myself. And then I kind of focus on that and try to stay consistent with it because
that's the.
now, yeah, because now it's funny because you was talking about like the sermon, and I was thinking like there's another quote, and it's funny because that quote always takes me back. And you know when you like rework something in your mind, like when you watch a movie a second time, and there's something that you didn't get the
It's
first
like you
time.
see it different. Yeah.
Before we even went to apply for college, we used to hear this all the time. We probably still hear it. What's your 5-year plan? 5-year plan? five
Yeah.
year.
People. I still hear people say that.
The new thing is now look where you was 5 years, because if you was doing your 5-year plan, you're supposed to look where you was 5 years.
Yeah.
Bro, 5 years ago, man, I was homeless.
Mm.
I was how can I put this? Involuntary restrained.
Mm.
Like, yes, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot. Matter of fact, nah, we're gonna be fully vulnerable because this is men's health. I was literally involuntarily admitted to a psych ward. That's another reason why when you came away, when you invited me, I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everything is it's out in the open. Like I'm like, yo, like this was meant to happen. This was a
Yeah.
conversation. It was written. The opportunity is there. You grasp it, you claim it.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Yeah.
Everything is yours. That's what I want all my people to know, especially my people. I
Yeah.
need us to know the world is yours. It's out there for you to grasp, but you have to be patient. You have to work for it, and you have to really want it. Not want it because you want money, not want it because you want the girl, not want it because you want the respect.
Yeah.
Want it because you feel like that's your purpose. Want it
I was
because
about
you
to.
feel like that's what's going to help you to live a righteous life.
Yeah.
That's why.
One
At
it because that's
least that's
gonna.
how.
You said the key word. One it because that will be fulfillment of purpose for you. If it feels like that, do that. Do that. And you said one key thing too is like the consistency of it. Like there's a consistent factor in mental health, and I don't mean that only in like when people are talking about the bad things. I mean even in the good things. It's everything because you are a whole human. You aren't one part of a human. I always like to say you are a multitude, and the more you understand that, but, and me, I look through things with my faith as well, and I've always said like, there's God, there's the truth, and then there's my human experience and the multitudes that I get to choose from because God created all of us so amazingly. So I have to be able to combine the things I find within myself to what God is constantly. And there's a consistent factor in that. There's a consistent factor in when you want to go for a goal. We all know that. We've gone for goals. There's a consistent factor as well, though, when you have to work through things with yourself. And as you said, be patient. A lot of times when I said my major gains is patience, like there are meters. My brain works weird. Just a meter sometimes I keep.
Nah,
And
it's
I'm like, my
elite. Your brain is
patience,
elite.
my patience meter is low. And I gotta go into a time to understand why is it low. Like sure, within ourselves, one thing I
Yo,
know, it's just not happening just because.
I
We can if we
felt that.
yeah, like if we
Nah, I
can really
felt that.
look in, like why is it low? Because
No,
the
for
goal
real.
is
I
to
had to
get
do
it
the same
up.
thing.
Yeah.
I had to do the same thing. So it was like, oh, yo, you been cooking, bro. You need, yo. I gotta come.
Thanks.
I gotta come see you, bro. You still in Brooklyn? I gotta come out there, bro. Like these the type of conversations I need. That's why when you was like your brain work, well, I'm like your brain elite, and it's like you said, patience.
Yeah.
I had to do the same thing. I'm like, yo, why I feel like I'm being so impatient? It's because I feel like you kind of. It's like you're already in your purpose. You're doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that, you feel like all these obstacles in your way is just like I don't need this.
It's
Come on.
yeah. And you know one thing, as you said that, my pastor once said that like, but the one play of the enemy is he wants to distract you from what God has for you. So he said, and it's in the Bible, but he was saying it in the sermon that just stuck with me. He was like, so I want you to know if it's getting crazier and crazier, that means it's really big what he's trying to distract you from. So if you can put that in that perspective, you will through your faith, but also your resilience, you will want to figure out like, nah, bro, I'm not going down like this. It's big. I ain't never feel all this craziness if you're in that time of life. Like, oh,
Yo,
so that means it's
yo,
big. So I got to push
yo,
through.
what's that meme with Snoop and the other dude? Oh yeah, he don't miss. He definitely don't miss. Even in the heat of battle, he don't
Bro,
miss. Yo,
it's but in that premise, right? The way it helps me, and I hope that helps somebody else, is to understand that the what like the enemy is there to come and disrupt and devour. So that is going to happen. It is going to perspective, but overall your faith and knowing that the distraction that he wants you off of from the purpose you're feeling is big. And I'm not even saying, and sometimes I'll be having moments, I'm one of those people, and I try to curb it a lot, where I'm like, okay, this went too well. Like whatever, like something and it'll go amazing. And then it'll go, and I'll be like, when's the,
was the other shoe gonna drop?
and
Oh,
then
this is too good to be true.
I had to learn, no, can't live that way. We that's not by number one. That's not by luck. If there's preparation involved, take your credit. Again, count your gains, your wins.
Yes.
But also understanding that continue and know that things may come. They will come. Actually, not may. But in you continuing, I'm sure you would have built a more resilience than this thought now in the future if you're doing the work. So you can trust yourself to know that if I do the work, if something comes up a year from now, the work I would have done to get to that point in that year, I'll be a stronger person that will be able to maybe see that better. And those are the things, and when I was talking about things people can't take away from you, those are major, those are your gains. And you don't want to fall susceptible to mind games, your mind's game. And I think that's why God really placed this in my heart, that you don't focus on your gains. Focus on how you can cultivate the gains. If you don't see it yet, you can see it. So how are you going to work towards that? And it's as we finish a quarter, bro. I think it's important to reiterate this point because we still got a whole year ahead of us. We still got a whole year. So
That's so crazy because so much has happened
and
already.
so much has happened already, and I feel a lot of us feel that way. I feel like the jokes before where people would be like, "Oh, this month felt like the whole year already." I feel how people are really feeling that as this one started. It's been a lot, bro. Okay, I have a couple more quick fire questions before like I dive into like
Oh,
the final question.
yeah.
But I want to get through this list really quickly. I also wanted to just talk about the importance of faith and how faith plays a factor for you in making sure that like the mind games don't get to you. It kind of everything we just spoke about, right? But in you, how do you incorporate moments of faith to help you move in moments where you're so much in your mind?
And well, one, I grew up in a Baptist household. My mom is very religious. My dad, as quiet as it's kept, he's very religious too, because he can definitely recite the Bible. He might not go to church like my mom do, but that
You
man,
know?
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, um, I've had my times where I felt lost. I felt like I was distant from God, especially when I was going through everything I was going through. And then I feel like God sends you people. You might not even know why at the right time. Send you people, send you people. Even in relationships, people be wondering why their relationships don't be working out. You have no idea what that person taught you until after. Maybe sometimes during,
Yeah.
you might be knowing what they teaching you during, but you might not appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then after, you be like,
You,
wow,
you,
this
you
person taught me a
see it
lot.
bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bigger picture. That's another thing we gotta do. Like, that's a topic for another time, but like black love, like we got all this toxicity, like, yo, just because people didn't work out don't mean the world is over. They a
Doesn't
demon,
mean
they on
everybody can
demon
work out.
time. Like
Yes.
exactly. Like we gotta stop demonizing and finalizing like each other like that. We can't do that. That's what they want for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, I think for me, even with going with all of that, that's where faith plays a factor, right?
Yeah.
Because I
Oh,
wouldn't step
I actually
into,
meant to. That's what I was actually gonna do too. That my fault. It's not that I got sidetracked, but
no, bro,
I was gonna kind of
got you. I got
segue
you.
into the yeah.
I got you. I got you, my
Yo,
brother.
I feel like the cleanup truck like this, like yo, I gotta. Oh,
No, don't lose the point. Go, go, go. Go
nah.
ahead. Go ahead.
But basically, like I had this that really, they were very religious, and if I'm being completely honest with you, and a lot of guys, I was very uncomfortable, and I had to really reflect on why I was. It wasn't like very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna say very uncomfortable. I'm gonna say it had times where I felt like I wasn't fulfilled, and I felt like
Mm,
because I wasn't fulfilled, there was no way I could fulfill that relationship.
yeah. Mm,
And it wasn't that they were doing anything wrong, because they didn't do anything wrong. To be honest with you, they were a wonderful friend. They supported me and poured into me in ways that other people didn't. But I wasn't okay with my place in the world at that time, I guess you could say.
yeah.
However, that being said, they guided me back to my faith. And then now with everything else that I've been going through, I've had a coach. I got a coach that works, that my PTM, pastor,
Mm,
client, pastor. You
amen.
understand? Like
Yes. That
it's
community.
the
That community.
commute. Thank you. The community around me was just powerful. Everything was powerful. I ended up going to a gym, and it was like they was like, I don't understand. Like they were like gym bros, real gym bros, but they were like devout Christians.
Wait, what?
Like I mean, no, I'm talking about. All right, so there's like a hoodie that I wear. It says like Jesus saves. When I mean like devout, I mean like you see faith on them.
I see what you mean. Okay. Oh
You
no, no, no. Yeah, because I was like, I see what you
yeah,
mean.
you
Yeah,
like you see it.
yeah.
You
It's
see
just you
it.
just yes.
Like they're clean, everything like you know like cleanliness is next to godliness. Like they show that they have their faith. Everything is on it. I'm not gonna lie, like they some dudes, but when they talk just I was like, yo, they're from um we're trying to be ministers at the next church. We just coming from Bible study and stuff. And I was just like, yo, what? I ain't never heard nothing about. I would have, and that's what we think when we say. And it was funny because Crunch had this whole thing where they say no judgments, never judge a book by its
Yeah,
cover. Because I was looking at them, I was like, yo, they look rough. They over here. And I come, they speaking, they articulating themselves. Oh, it's like, oh wow.
yeah, because
So like that
and
made me want to get back into the church, and I've literally recently reached out to my old PTM so I could find a house of worship, not knowing that another one of my close friends I see every day, he's in the choir, and he's also looking for something like, he wants to bring more
oh, bro, I
people
would
in.
encourage you to go hit up your friend in the choir and say, "Can I
hmm
pull up next Sunday?"
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was gonna
Yes,
think about it today, but I had a lot going on, so now I'm really thinking like, which is even better because I'll have my son. That could be
and
even
that would
better.
be amazing. That I, I I would that kind of sounds again going to a line like well, if seeing that and I was gonna say because that's that love of God, right? And that's that they're showing that their commitment and they that outwardly commitment, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But at the same time, I would say if that spoke to your spirit, follow it, follow it, see where it leads you, and see which house of the Lord it leads you into. That means a true house of the Lord is always the same. That's what my pastor says. He was,
Yes,
it's always the Lord is there.
yeah.
So that's the most
Yeah,
important
we
thing.
think about it. I mean, he got a few houses. He owned a lot of properties.
He owned a lot of
You
property, and honestly, I want him to own more property in this
know what I
time.
mean? Business is booming.
This
I
is
want business to be booming.
I'm speaking crazy. It's his property.
Exactly. I
I'm
want
going
his
crazy,
business to always boom.
bro. Okay, just one more question, and I wanted to incorporate this question because I know you also work like you're a personal trainer. So, like these are the word gains, as I said before, it may mean something more different to you in your profession, right? How you use that word, and I would think that like when you're using that word in your profession, it's about improvement. It's about how are we improving, right? But also in your profession, it's the little details that help in the biggest overall, right? Like cook, like the way you eat, if you're doing the workouts, if you're being consistent, all of these things, right? So I wanted to ask you, like, and I kind of wanted you to answer it within your profession and everything we've talked about, right? Like, how would you tell somebody to make sure that they stay on their daily gains, meaning their 1% improvement every day?
So one of the first things I try to tell people, like even when I was working at Crunch, we had this thing called the kickoff where you get the bullseye. The bullseye is your why. That's your why. Whatever it is, the reason that you're getting in the gym, that you're getting fit, that's your why, that's your purpose. So once you have that, that's the reason why you do everything you do. That's how you have every time you think about faltering and giving up, that's what you should use to make you stay consistent. After I kind of told them about that, I tell them there's no such we can't make overnight celebrities here. Everything has to
Mhm.
be earned.
Yeah,
You have to earn everything. You're gonna have to be comfortable and accepting of delayed gratification. You have to be patient. You can't have it and want it right now. Not if you want it the right way. You understand? Like everything takes time. And within that, you earn the proper respect for what you're doing and what you're learning. And because you're putting in that amount of time and that work, it pours back into you. You're more disciplined. You start to see those results. People start to pay you a different type of attention. People
yeah,
start to treat you with a different type of respect
yeah,
because now you sticking to it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like being a man of your word. It's
yeah.
like, oh, they not playing. So I think that's how I would measure gains.
Uh,
Like,
bro,
are you better than how you were yesterday?
yeah,
Both mentally, physically, everything.
and also what you said. One thing I got and in my head, and it popped in like, and also get real comfortable with gradual. Just get real comfortable. Like, we want to get real comfortable with everything's good. Everything,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I feel great. No, let's get real comfortable with also the part of life where things was good. Look at Vaughn. What's up,
Hey,
my brother?
Varsity.
Let's also get very comfortable that this life is more about the gradual things you do than just the home runners you
Facts.
think you want to
You
get.
can't hit a
Yeah,
home run every time.
yeah.
You can't.
And I think finding, and my mind is also saying that always comes to that thing of being cool with the process, like
Mhm.
being cooler with the process than just always holding on to result.
That's a
That
fact.
means,
Like,
and it goes into what you're saying because that
hmm
means you're trying. You're trying.
yes. And see, this is another thing we should like try and like process and like the cooler process. And like I told you, I'm a lover boy. So one thing I always tell my people, I'm like, yo, when you training, no matter what you doing in life, no matter how you trying to get to it, if you want to get there, you have to fall in love with the process. If you can't fall in love with the process, you're not going to be able to stay disciplined or consistent enough to get the results because you got to love the hard work.
Yeah.
You got to love the pain. You got to love getting up in the morning saying, all right, I got to get to this because I know that's the body I want.
Yeah.
I know when summertime come and I put this fit on, I'm a kill because I'm putting in the work.
Yeah.
You putting in the work. You gotta put in the work. That's really like I forgot. I think Lamar wore a shirt or one of them wore a shirt. Like nobody cares. Work harder. We're not gonna say nobody cares because we all know it's always somebody that cares if you out in the world. But we're definitely work smarter. I would
Yeah.
say because you don't work smarter. Like use what you have, your
Be
gifts, your
effective for
abilities.
yourself.
Yes.
Use
Use your
what you
skills
have to
to
be
serve
effective.
you. Yes, use your skills to serve you to help better
Exactly.
serve others. For
Exactly.
real.
And it's so dope that you said that's what you, because I I once heard that, like, you, even in the mind, right, you can think that way and maybe you regress. The thing, one quote I heard that helped me a lot was like, sometimes you do have to trick your mind into and that's one thing about mind game. Like, bro, I actually, like, if the process is frustrating and annoying to you, you have to actually tell yourself, no, I love this shit, because
No,
the why is
facts.
so big to me. So this has to be a different type of love, but I want to use love. And if I'm loving something, I'm consistent, and
Hmm
I will step up to make sure that everything is managed well. So,
Facts.
and like using that as well, and like the gradual, it kind of creates a whole different process. It's like eureka. It's like a eureka thing
hmm
to
I'm
understand
gonna
that, like,
piggyback off of that too. I'm gonna
yeah,
piggyback off of that too.
like understanding, and even through my faith, one thing I've seen through life, and even everything I've done and trying and all of that, is like God really wants me to be in love with that process, because the process also is not just the process I get to have, thank you to Him, the process I get to have with Him, the processes I get to have about how He's unraveling things in my life. That's
That's
also
yo,
a very important process, and then I can be secure that He'll take care of the results, because that's Him.
yo. You've been cooking all day, man. It's a banquet in here with everything you've been
Bro,
cooking up. My goodness.
it helps you in your daily to understand that, like, your mind may want to say, why didn't I just do everything? But that's not how the mind works. You should actually be more mad about, why didn't I just stick to this one step process to get to the next process.
Charge my phone. No, that's a fact because that's something I also had to learn too. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into that. Like I'm interested in a lot of things, and I had to be like, yo, let me focus on how one of these things can help the other, help the other, help the other, and just kind of like
It's
blend into one thing because spreading yourself too wide. It's good to have focus. I'll never tell somebody to like paint themselves in a box and do one thing because you don't want to like. There's a speech. There's a quote. Everybody always says, "Master or none, master or none." You can be a master of one, like a jack of all trades, master of none. It's really jack of all trades or master of one. When you're a master of one, you're a master of oneself,
yeah,
your inner self.
yeah,
So whatever skill sets you have and hobbies you may have, you may be good at a whole bunch of stuff,
But you got to pick
and that's
and
okay.
start
You
with
gotta
one.
condense it. Take what you really, really like and condense it. Like we have amazing people in the world, bro. We got Chris Browns, Jamie Foxx's, Tiana Taylor's. Like I could keep going, bro.
We got
Like
family
it's a,
members that we think
you know
are
what I'm
amazing.
saying? For real, we got
I
family
yeah.
members. We got friends, bro. Like I look at the Black Monks, Lavar already in the car. Like, bro,
Facts.
we really lived in a house with people that not only came from where they came from. We went to a predominantly white school where students, some of us are student athletes, some of us
Yes.
are also there working to pay for tuition, some of us are all three. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
not to mention, while we're doing that, we're following our dreams, building our own doors. You got photographers, DJs, music artists,
It
recording.
was
Well,
a
you know what I'm
time, bro.
saying, bro?
That
Like it
was
was
really
a
a time.
time.
That
It
was a
was a
time.
time, bro,
And
for
and
real.
one thing I also always thank God about is like everyone in anything we can think about. Oh, it's like they're still good. You can call them, you can hit them, like all of those things.
That's a
Like, and I'm so thankful
fact.
for that.
LeVar reminded me of that too. Matter of fact, I gotta give him his flowers too, because I don't know if it happened or how it happened. I didn't get to make it out to it, but he definitely reached out
Yeah,
and was like, "Yo, we trying to do a little Cortland reunion and everything." And I'm not even gonna lie, like when I spoke to him, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it.
yeah,
We had that conversation earlier. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
was still in
And I
that
feel like
that process.
one thing for speaking about VAR, like one thing VAR has taught me in everything is about the power of being very present. Like it is a superpower to be present and then making decisions from what you because then you stand on your shit. Like
Yo,
when
you know
you're
what I'm
present.
saying? It's like
Yeah, bro.
so.
One thing I wanted to before I ask the last question, I've said that like 3 times, right?
I
And
don't even mind.
it flows into like my just the final point where I wrote here, where I was like, in everything I'm saying in this, it's not just saying, oh, you need to have this for life to happen. It's saying you need to see how you can gain these things within yourself, right? And in everything we just talked about, process and all of that, that theory it holds true that it is a marathon, not a race. So going back to the
Yo,
quarters,
facts,
like
man.
quarter 2 is starting. If you have been racing as this year has started, I need you to understand it's a marathon. It's like you're
Mhm.
why you're racing. Like God doesn't need your racing; He needs your trusting. So
Yes.
get to the marathon of this because the marathon you may feel a little slower that you just sprinting, but you're gonna
Hmm.
see things. You're gonna learn new breathing technique. Like
Oh
think of a
yeah.
marathon.
Oh,
I've never ran a marathon, so it's
oh.
probably
I've
my worst
ran
guess. But y'all know
marathons.
what I
Like,
mean.
you know what I mean? Don't worry. Don't. Boop, boop, boop,
Yeah,
boop. Yo,
it's
for all
a
those people, all
and
right? It's a marathon.
it's a
We
marathon,
don't race.
not a
We
race.
pace, all right?
Yes,
We
yeah,
pace. We don't race.
and
Pace
and
yourself.
and it's important to remember that within the things that you gain in this year, that
Hmm.
you're gaining right now in your present moment, that
Yes.
some discomforts might be you racing,
Yup.
right?
And when you race, you have to pace yourself because it's not a race. And
Yes.
comparison is the thief of joy. Don't look at the grass. Don't look at people outside of your lane. Stay
Now
in
you
your
gotta look at
lane.
yourself
Yeah.
be content and hopeful for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That like another one major thing in mental is like I want people to know that like being hopeful is like going. We'll say that's perspective. Like people will say, be hopeful. All right, if that didn't hit right, okay, can you look at a different perspective? Because a different perspective can give you a glimmer of hope. You don't know unless you do it with the
Exactly.
mind. So it's not just saying word, it's like do those things and see what happens. Because the one thing I want everybody to have this year is major gains. I want to gain. I want
Nah,
to gain
major
more of what
gains,
God got
bro.
for me. And not
Like,
just physically, but like also
for real. No,
as a man,
that's
as
the
I
truth.
grow.
Like, I told you I've been diving down to everything. Like I know you familiar with Wu-Tang, probably like 5%ers and all of that. Like
Yeah,
I don't know if you know like mathematics, like diving down to like we in the year of 2025, bro. Like 2 5, like knowledge, build, destroy. Like that's when you add 2 and 5, that's seven. Seven, God's number, also means completion,
yeah,
meaning this is when you complete. So
yeah,
whoever is feeling incomplete, this is the year you complete
yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
how you kind of decipher the mathematics and the formula. The
yeah,
algorithm right now, the word, everything right now is saying do whatever you want to do because this is the year that you can complete it. You should be completed. 2020, that was like the year of awakening. That's
yeah.
like we going, you know what I mean?
And I
That's we going to torch.
and I would go with like the completion, right? Because one thing I know about, and I plan in Jesus' name, I plan to be here at 70, 80, 90. Like there's never just complete. It will never be fully complete, but is it better?
Exactly.
As long as it's better, and that's the focus. It's not trying to be perfect. It's not even like that's really and that's another theft of your joy. Trying to
Yo,
be perfect, but like
we will
trying to
be
be better,
perfect in
trying to be
every
better.
aspect of the game.
Yeah, bro. Because one thing I've learned about trying to make sure in all levels of your life you're seeking and doing better is like that is really the proper gauge to be like, oh, okay, I am moving. Because if you're not, if you can say to yourself, I'm not doing it, you got to have a real conversation with yourself and see how you're going to move yourself forward. But if you are moving better, you're moving, no pun intended, you're moving better than perfect. You're like perfect, don't
Yeah.
like
And see,
perfect
that's
moves
the
perfect.
thing because remember I wrote a poem when I was in Cortland too. I don't remember how it go, but I remember this line though: perfection is the conception of perception.
Yeah,
Whatever you perceive to be perfect, perfection is a concept.
yeah,
It's not. It's
yeah,
perfect. Nobody knows what it means to be perfect. We
yeah.
just know what we
And there was only
perceive to
one
be
person
perfect.
that ever walked this earth that was perfect, in my opinion.
So it's like you gotta
So we
you
got.
strive
I think
for it.
yeah, and just bringing it back, and I am gonna dive into the final question, bro.
Ah, yo, I feel like you building it up. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like I'm gonna I'm gonna dive in because I'm
The
about to ask
anticipation.
another question, but I'm like, let me ask the final question, bro, because in everything we've talked about, man, the major gains, learning your thoughts, perspective, gratitude, everything, right? If you go back and listen to this conversation, you will hear all that we discussed within this topic. But one thing that I do want to ask you that I ask every guest is, and I'm gonna wait till you get back on the screen.
Oh, I got you right now because I know my battery low, and I don't want to play myself and it die before you even get the last
Yes,
question out.
those are the moments, and I will be like, damn.
Yeah, yeah, tragic. This is what.
So I can't hear you right now.
Can you hear me again? You can hear me now?
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It
I was
was muted for a
plugging.
quick second. But
Yeah, I had to
bro,
plug the charger in.
so let me ask. So this is the final question I ask every guest, right? So if you could advise somebody that currently needs to be able to and wants to identify their current gains in this season of their life, and also the other gains they want as this year continues, what is one thing you will tell them to keep at the forefront of their mind as they move in that thought?
Uh, First and foremost, life, life. If you woke up this morning and God blessed you with the gift of breath, be grateful.
And
That's the first thing I'm gonna say. Because nothing is promised in this world. So if you woke up this morning,
that's a
you gotta
major gain.
thank God for that. That's a major gain. If you got somewhere to stay, that's a major gain. If you got somewhere to eat, something you getting food in your belly, something to drink, that's a major gain. If you got even just one person to talk to, that's a major gain. Even if that one person is God, that's still a major gain.
Amen.
Don't let people, I'm telling you, like, This is something I had to tell myself because if we don't identify what's major gains, if we don't identify our progress, if we don't gift ourselves flowers, sometimes you got to take yourself on a date. Sometimes you got to give yourself flowers. Sometimes you got to give yourself everything that you want that man to give you or that you want that woman to give you so that you know what it feel like to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you going to appreciate it when you do get it if you never had it before? Give it to yourself. Work
Yeah.
for it. That's how I feel. That's what I got to tell myself every day, for real.
Yeah. I, Number one, you just saying life. You, I was like, yo, bro. Yeah, because that that to me can create. If you look at it as like, and I think for me and my faith, it really helps hone that in. To anytime I hear that, I can just go to be like, you're out. It's no promise. It is by the grace of God that we all are here. But going off of that premise, and wherever you are in your season or life of like, that can be a breather real quick for you to see what gratitude builds from that, and then maybe go back to whatever it is, and see what you can take with you with that, bro. Yeah, life, man. That
Yo,
part, it's like
we
never forget.
feeding off each other. We
Yeah, never
feeding off each other.
forget that,
Honestly,
bro.
bro,
Like,
it's I
and
cherish conversations like this for real.
bro, my brother, I have to thank you. I told you I'll say it a couple times. I am blown away because when I was telling you about like even when I had this thought and then seeing your video, the alignment of it, and also knowing that like, yo, bro, that was my bro. Like
Yo,
I,
I'm saying
it
like,
was
yo, it's
lit.
been a
So it's like
while.
it would
Like,
be great to have a conversation, and just this conversation in itself, bro. Thank you, bro, and
yo,
shout outs to you.
thank you.
And shout outs to you. Continue, bro. Continue to grow. Continue to be this because there's a light as well that you give off as well. So continue to be that light, my brother.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much.
You too. Thank you. Same, bro, for real. You're inspiring. I'm telling you.
Thank you,
Like a
bro.
lot of times, that's another thing that we got to do. Not only do we have to be able to recognize our own personal gains, but the people that we have to recognize others. We have to
Yes,
because
yes. And then encourage them.
yes, we're all God's children. We're
Amen.
all a reflection of each other. If I can't acknowledge you, how can I acknowledge myself? You
Amen. Yeah.
understand? Like everything is relative. So like we all we got. We here
Yeah.
together. We
And
here to
that's why these
help each other.
conversations. That's why these conversations are both refreshing, and what God does in my mind, it reiterates why it's so important, because these are the conversations where it's like you get to really just talk about your mind, and get to see it in different ways. And I hope anyone listening to this, when we put it up on Spotify, anything, that you took something from
Oh
this.
yeah,
And if you have a
yeah,
friend in your
definitely.
mind,
Send me the
'cause
links. I got like
I'm definitely
cause
gonna send it to you. Like, if you have somebody in your mind that could benefit from this, I hope that you
yeah.
send it to them as well.
Oh
But my brother,
yeah.
thank you, bro. And I will send you once I put everything up, bro. I'm gonna
Oh
definitely
yeah.
like pass it
Oh, I
along to you.
appreciate you. You know
I
I got you
appreciate you,
everything.
bro.
For
And
real.
as I say before I end every conversation, and I'm just gonna say this because yeah, we're 2 days from a new month, April. I hope April is well for you. I hope everything that you want in your major gains comes to you. I hope that you can acknowledge the gains that you have going into April and let that
You gonna make me make some t-shirts. You gonna make me make some t-shirts.
and I hope you can take that with you, bro. And shout outs to you, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you to everybody that logged on, anybody that's listening right now. Thank you, bro. And as I say before I end every conversation, until next time, everybody, enjoy your Sunday, my brother.
Yes, thank you. You too. Thank you for
Later,
having
bro.
me. Later.